What if I told you that most of life's biggest frustrations come from living out of alignment with your core values? Think about it. If you value family but spend all your time working, stress builds.
And if you value health but neglect movement, nutrition, frustration kicks in. Stay tuned for 4 steps to make sure you're living in alignment with your core values. Hey there, welcome to Group X Appeal. I'm Kimberly Spring-Glick.
And I'm Terry Shorter. We're excited to bring you this hot and sweaty podcast.
With over 25 years of experience each in the health and fitness industry, we're here to share hilarious, heartwarming stories from our lives and careers.
And offer practical nutrition tips, expert exercise advice, and strategies for holistic well-being and a positive mindset.
Group X Appeal is your go-to source for inspiration, motivation, and a few laughs along the way.
So tune in and let us help you be the healthiest, happiest version of you. Terry Shorter and
Kimberly Spring-Glick.
Here with Group X Appeal. We're so happy that you joined us today with the importance of core values. You know, as Brené Brown once said, living into our values means that we do more than profess our values, we practice them.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Such a good quote. It's so important. Thank you, Brené. So
Absolutely.
today we're going to help you get crystal clear on your core values and make sure that your life reflects them. So we've got 4 easy steps for you to consider.
Oh, I like step by step.
Step by step is a good thing. So consider each of these steps an invitation from us to you so that you can tap into and really start living in your core values.
Yeah.
So the first step seems pretty obvious. You want to identify what your top values are. Now we're going to suggest that you start with a brainstorm. Like think about what matters most to you and just brainstorm. It could end up being 10, 15, 20, 30, but as many values, as many aspects of life you find valuable for you, brainstorm it all. But then we want to encourage you to bring it into your top 5, like narrow it down. And so we thought that we would just share our top 5 kind of non-negotiables for life, because that's what a core value really is.
For sure.
And so for me, my top 5 core values are family. And when I think of family, I think of it in 2 ways. I think of the family that we are given, and I think of the family that we get to choose along the way. So those friends who become like family, right? So we got family, wellness, which is all encompassing of, fitness, health, our well-being. Then of course, love, just like my tattoo says, choose love, right? You gotta choose love. I learned from Dr. Robert Holden, in every situation and in any situation you ever find yourself in, the greatest power you will ever have is to be the presence of love. And so love is a powerful driving core value for me. I always want to try to be the presence of love and choose that. And then laughter. We were just talking before we came on air. Laughter is like air for me. I know that's shocking to any of you who know me at all, but laughter is a big one. And then growth. I grew up with a mom who said, you're either green and growing or you're ripe and rotting. But the good news is every day you get out of bed, you get to decide which one you're going to be. And I choose to grow. I choose to continue to evolve, remembering that my growth and evolution becomes the growth and evolution that benefits not only me, but it becomes the growth and evolution of everyone around me whose life I touch. So those are mine: family, wellness, love, laughter, and growth. How about you, Mr. Terry Shorter?
Non-negotiables.
Those are my non-negotiables.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, we're very similar in a lot of ways.
Shocking, I know,
I just
right?
copied
Are you surprised?
I just copy my
No, he
elders.
didn't.
That's what I do.
It's not true.
Well, the first for me also is family. Family's super important. I've got the shirt on. Awesome.
He's got the shirt to prove
it. Awesome, like my daughter's shirt.
I was joking that if Tyler ever got me that shirt, he would put almost as awesome as my son.
He would definitely do that.
Yeah, he would.
So I hope he listens to this. So, because Mother's Day is on its way, it's coming.
Right.
So, family for sure. That's my non-negotiable, and then wellness too. You know, that's part of what makes me me. I believe. As for those who know me, I have to move. It's part of, for me, movement is my oxygen.
Right.
I need it. Of course, good nutrition as well. It's something that I live daily, and then kindness. One of the things my dad always said, he said, treat others the way that you want to be treated. simply the golden rule. And that has stuck with me for decades. And I'm sure decades to come.
Just a couple decades.
Just a couple, just a few. And so shout out to you, Dad, for always instilling that in me and my brothers.
Yay, Dad.
Growth. Constantly learning. Yes, I love your mom's quote. If we're not flowing, we're stagnant, and stagnant water does not attract good at all. So we have to continue to flow.
And we are 70% water.
We are, yeah. Especially we're even more so because we're Pisces. So,
right?
Yeah.
We're probably about 90%.
95%. But growth is super, super key, getting outside of our comfort zones, because when we can do that, when we get outside of our comfort zones, we're in that realm of success and growth and expansion, and which really leads to just all-round well-being. And then lastly, I would have to say for me is good old-fashioned hard work.
Yeah.
Not afraid to get my hands dirty. And also, I think got that from both mom and dad, but even more so, I think from both mom and dad for sure, because they worked to retirement and they're still, even though they're retired from their careers, they're still finding ways to stay busy and continue to work, whether it's, gardening, whether it's going on their walks. They're continuing to stay active and continue to move and to continue to work, to stay spry, to keep that vitality.
Hey, there we go.
And so for me, those would be the 5, key core values that I like to live on a daily basis.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a good list.
Thank you. Just trying to be like you. And so step number 2, once you create that list of those 5 core values, really list up, take that pen to paper, write those things down. And it's not going to be easy, I don't think, to identify those 5 at first, to be honest with you.
It took us a minute.
It did. It took us a minute for sure.
Long
Originally,
list to start.
we were going to say 3.
Yeah,
but
we couldn't do
expanded
it.
to 5. We couldn't do it. We're like, okay, let's open it up a little bit. But but the key thing is, just like Kimberly said, just let that flow of consciousness go, and let the pen write, and just get as many as you can, and then really break it down to those 5, and then from there, do a values assessment. That's step number 2. Look at your daily habits, right? The things that you're doing on the regular, and ask yourself, are they aligned with your core values? If not, it's time to shift. Right. And personally, I went through this process really recently, just like about 3 or 4 weeks ago, around our birthdays. Yeah. And I sat down and I looked at the things that were important to me, and I was looking at my schedule as well. And I thought, okay, am I living in alignment? And to be honest, I was out of harmony. Wow. And so as a result, started shifting some things back into my core values, the things that are important to me, in order to find that balance again, to get, recalibrated.
Can I tell you how much I love that you just used the word harmony? Because for me, often people use the word balance. Sure. That I need to balance these different priorities, values in my life. And the fact of the matter is, to balance means to make it even. Sure. And from one day to the next, that's not always the case. Right. Like even as you're reviewing daily to do your assessment, you might find that one day a little bit more focus goes toward one priority. And then the next day it goes a bit more toward another priority. So for me, for example, if one of my core values is growth, one day might be me in a conference, or taking a course, or working with a coach, or focused on growth with my business. And not as much time with my son, even though he's part of family and such a core value. Sure. But then the next day it might be more all about my son. So you just have to kind of look for harmony and make sure that how you are making your choices, taking your actions, putting your time and energy out into the world, that you're doing so in harmony, not necessarily fully balanced from one day to the next, but in harmony with what you value the most. Yeah. I love that.
And it feels so much better when you can find that harmony, because I was really sensing that there was some things were really outweighing others. And
now, what caused you to do that assessment? Did something just feel off?
I just felt just off kilter for sure. And so it was the growth piece that I was missing, and the family piece too. That was also I think suffering a little bit too.
Interesting.
So once I discovered those things, was able to make some readjustments, and I'm feeling much better.
And if I know him, he probably needed to just pull a little bit away from the hard work and give it to the family and growth. I'm just guessing.
Just guessing, for sure.
All right. So we have a third step for you, and that is now that you've assessed to see if you're living in harmony with those top 5 core values. And now it's time to create a values-based routine. So really taking the time to schedule, to put even on your calendar, if that's your phone or a paper calendar or some kind of software that you use. But for example, if fitness is a value, well then schedule movement, schedule exercise. Yeah. If nutrition is a value, schedule some form of meal preparation, whether it's through your shopping or how you're choosing to eat for the week. If family is a core value, then make sure every week at least you're setting a reminder to connect with a family member. Maybe it's even daily if it's multiple family members, but just to even send a text or say hello or I love you. But just reminders or opportunities to ensure that even though we can get distracted and other priorities can kind of creep in, you remind yourself like, okay, these are your core values. Have you nurtured this value today? So I think creating a schedule, a routine that is values-based can be really powerful.
I've got this big smile on my face, if you can't see it, if you're just listening, because as Kimberly's talking, I went through this process. I went onto Canva and I took a template, a weekly template, and I filled out my schedule, when I'm teaching, when I'm building my business, so on and so forth, and wrote at the time, my 3 core values on the top of the sheet. And that's where I realized there's some things that are not right now that I need to make some adjustments with. And so based on that, I was able to basically make appointments with myself for growth, make appointments for family to check in. So for example, I mentioned my Wednesdays is watering Wednesdays for my plant.
Yes.
Right?
I'm totally stealing that.
Fridays is my family, where I check in with my family, whether it's a telephone call, whether it's a text, whether it's an email, right? So those, and then in terms of the growth piece, I started reincorporating, audiobooks on a regular basis, working on getting through a book a week.
Oh, wow.
Sound a little ambitious,
Yeah,
but
that's great.
It's been working ever since I sat down and put together that schedule or that agenda.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that.
I wish it was sitting right over there. So hopefully that helps. And the fourth step that we hope that helps for you is using values as a decision filter.
Oh, this is huge.
Right? So before saying yes to anything or everything, ask yourself, does this align with my values?
It seems so simple.
Right. If it's a no, then don't do it. Just simply say no. It doesn't hurt to say no at all. And once you sit down really and create that value-based routine that Kimberly talked about, that will really help you make that decision a lot easier without feeling guilty at all either, in creating that decision filter.
So are you telling me that if I can really embrace my core values, those top 5 values that are most important to me, it can help me create some healthy boundaries to the point that I don't feel like I have to say yes to everything?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what I was saying.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that out of that.
I caught what you were throwing.
So,
I love it.
Yeah, so those are the 4 simple steps. That's pretty simple, right?
I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah, it only takes a few minutes to do too. From step number 1, sitting down, identifying your top 5 values, right?
And when you do, let us know at least what one of them are.
Yeah.
If you want to let us know all top 5, we'd love to hear it either on social media or if on YouTube down in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Would love to hear that. And I'm sure other people would love to hear your top values as well that mean the world to you.
Yeah, so that's step 1.
Yeah, step number 1. And step number 2, again, is do that value assessment.
Got to assess.
Right? Assess and then create that value-based routine. Right? And then lastly, again, use values as a decision filter so you can set those healthy boundaries.
You know, something else I was thinking as you just went through a recap this is something we should do at least every year.
Yeah.
Sometimes values shift and change over the course of our lives based on what stage in life we're in
season,
and what
yeah.
we're focused on, what season exactly. And so to have this be part of maybe a routine that you do every year, and that gives you the opportunity to kind of reassess and see how it played out last time
Yeah.
you went through this process.
And I think they'll be deeply connected, rooted into your goals as well.
Oh,
things that
yeah.
you want to accomplish. It dawned on me as I was going through this exercise a few weeks ago. I did not sit down and go through, the goals that I wanted to achieve this year in 2025. And so that's something I'm going back to, but I'm glad that I went through this core value process, those four simple steps first. I think that's going to really allow me to more effectively write down those goals, visualize those goals, create that dream board, because I haven't done it this year. So, but it's never too late.
Yeah, well, that sounds like you have a strong foundation to get it going.
I hope so. And we hope that you have a strong foundation as well with these 4 key core value tips. And again, like Kimberly said, please drop in the comments your top values. Challenge a friend to do the same.
Oh, yeah.
And we can start living life with greater intention, continue living life with greater intention.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely. Absolutely. Always.
Yes. And so in addition to that, make sure that you share this, save this, comment,
Download it.
Download. What else can I do?
Take
Stream
notes.
Yes.
Connect with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. So you can find Group X Appeal on every single platform that's out there, including YouTube, if you haven't had a chance to watch our antics, get the visuals of what we've been up to. And we're excited to see you or hear from you again sooner than later. And that's it.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
we appreciate you. We thank you. And as always, we encourage you to have a great day. And why, Kimberly?
Because it is a great day to have.
Yes, it is. Until next time.
Much love.